From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 6, streaming now.
I stand strong and I stand firm that I am fighting against gun violence.
A woman speaks only with WRTV after her son was killed last month on the near Northwest Side. Her powerful message to her community and to young people using guns. Marion County is not joining the state of Indiana in its Stage 5 reopening plan, but the state's most populous county is easing some restrictions. What you need to know in moments.
It's just a sad situation.
Another restaurant is closing its doors for good today due to the pandemic. The one thing owners say that could have helped them stay in business.
And I'm sure you've heard about the weekend warmth, but I'm here to tell you you'll need your coat next week when temperatures drop into the 30s.
Well, good Friday evening and welcome into WRTV News at 6. I'm Mark Mullins. A woman is speaking with WRTV for the first time since losing her son to gun violence last month. As someone who is very involved and cares about her community, this loss is devastating, only invigorating her more to stand up and fight for young people. Our Stephanie Wade shares this powerful story.
I would take flowers and give them to parents at a funeral, never imagining when my son turned 20 years old that someone would be handing me flowers.
On August 21st, Crystal Gray received a call that her son, Kevin Ritchie Jr., had been shot.
My emotions are still kind of unexplainable. It's still shocking. It's still scary.
From what Gray understands, her son was mistaken to be somebody else and was shot in the 900 block of Edgemont Avenue on the near Northwest Side.
I understand that he expressed to that person that that's not me. That ain't me, bro. And the person still pulled the trigger and shot him.
As the country and world chant in the streets, Black Lives Matter to end police brutality, Gray is calling for an end to another kind of brutality.
We are fighting against each other, not the police against black people, not, whites against black, but we're fighting youth against youth, young black youth against young black youth.
Saying we have to do better as a community and how little the regard is for human life.
We are killing each other and we're leaving blood stains on people's homes, in their communities, in the middle of the street. It has to stop.
Young men with guns, whether it be because of a lack of structure, community building, resources. Gray says we can point to many reasons as to why this is happening, but says we now have to find solutions.
I cannot allow myself to sit in my seat and someone else loses a child.
As someone who's sat on several boards before to help others in the community,
I know now this is my purpose. I can't run from it anymore. It's knocking at my front door, so I have to do something. And I plan on linking up with different people in the community to not try to find a solution, but find the best solution that will help us to stop having to bury our children at the age of 20 years old.
Stephanie Wade, WRTV.
Well, this case is still unsolved. If you have any information to bring this family closure and understand what happened to their son, call Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS. We are working for you to help you find out more about what's going on in your neighborhood. You can learn more about each of this year's homicides and the status of each investigation with our interactive homicide map. You can find it at WRTV.com/crime. Tonight, IMPD is naming the officer involved in a shooting on the east side of Indianapolis. Metro Police say 19-year veteran Marshall Burkbile was the officer involved in the Sunday shooting on Pleasant Run Parkway North Drive. Investigators say when police got to the scene, they found a group of about 20 people, some armed with guns, pepper spray, and other weapons. Police say gunshots were being fired in multiple directions, and at one point, the suspect pointed a weapon at police. That's when Officer Marshall Burkbile fired at him. That suspect was injured. According to police, 2 women were also shot by another suspect. Police tell us the disturbance stemmed from a disagreement on social media. IMPD's critical response team is investigating the shooting. Breaking news tonight, CNN now reporting that President Trump intends to choose Amy Coney Barrett to replace the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court, citing multiple senior Republican sources. The president is expected to officially make the announcement tomorrow at noon. ABC News will carry that live right here on WRTV. Those sources tell CNN that it's possible President Trump could change his mind, but they say the expectation is that Barrett is his choice. Amy Coney Barrett lives in South Bend, Indiana, and she received part of her education at the University of Notre Dame. The state of Indiana will enter into stage 5 of reopening it at midnight, but more on that in just a bit. Meantime, Marion County won't reopen as much as the rest of Indiana, but it will start easing some restrictions on Monday. Here's what you can expect. Beginning Monday in Marion County, restaurants, bars, nightclubs, and food establishments will be allowed to have 50% indoor capacity and up to 100% outdoor capacity. Bar seating will not be open. Restaurants and bars will still be required to close at midnight. Museums, cultural, and other entertainment venues can open at 50% capacity. Churches and funeral homes can conduct indoor services at 75% capacity and outdoor services at no capacity limit. Gyms and fitness centers can expand to 50% capacity. Again, this is for Marion County, and these rules will go into effect Monday. We will get to new guidelines for the rest of the state right here in moments. Meantime, another Indianapolis restaurant is closing their doors for good today. The owners of Duos on Meridian say the economic impact of the pandemic is too much to overcome. Today, dozens stopped by for one final meal there. WRTV's Megan Sanctorum was there and explains why these owners say more small businesses could be next.
Last time, man.
This is the last time people will walk through these doors for lunch at Duos.
It is the best place in town to get vegetarian or vegan.
Located inside the International Medical Group building on Meridian, they built a strong base of regular customers.
I've made relationships. I used to work in the building, so from everybody back there, I've had a relationship with.
This has been one of my favorite places for so long. When I was pregnant with my child, I came here almost every day because it was the only food that tasted good to me.
But the economic impact of the pandemic is proving to be too much to overcome.
Day after day, you can't live on a quarter of what you did. And we were headed for our best year ever. Big green salad.
Becky Hostetter is a chef and co-owner of Duos. She says one round of government assistance wasn't enough. And she says the Paycheck Protection Program was not designed in a way to help restaurants like hers.
In order for a loan to be forgiven, that you hire as much staff as you initially had, but you don't have the sales to support that staff hiring.
She thinks local and state leaders need to step up and provide more relief options.
You got to be there for us. You can't separate the attraction and vibrancy of an urban area from the small businesses that make it so.
And she worries more small businesses will follow.
And I really think the lack of getting a second stimulus is going to devastate small businesses. And I mean, I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm a sad person who's losing their business. It's a reality.
It's really a shame for everyone, for the patrons, for the businesses, for the people that work there. I mean, it's just a sad situation.
We've always been a human people where we've learned to adapt. And so we have to learn how to adapt and adjust. But people need to work, and people need to make a wage and an income, and especially off of something so positive and so good.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, WRTV.
Duos also had locations in City Market and at Eskenazi Hospital. Both of those have closed for good as well. No word yet on what is next for the owners and the staff. And today, our Nicole Griffin asked Mayor Joe Hogsett when businesses in Marion County could see more COVID-19 relief funding, money that struggling businesses need. Here's what he said.
I would hope to make an announcement within the next week, perhaps as early next week, because these funds have now been appropriated and we need to use them. So I'm hoping that some announcements of our efforts can be made early next week.
We'll continue to keep you updated on when more COVID-19 relief funding will be made available to Indianapolis businesses. We've mentioned how Marion County is easing some of its COVID-19 restrictions, but they aren't going quite as far as the rest of the state. Starting at midnight, the state's Stage 5 reopening plan will go into effect. Again, this does not include Marion County. Under Stage 5, face masks will be required through at least October 17th. Restaurants, bars, and nightclubs can operate at full capacity as long as there is social distancing, but customers must remain seated. All gyms and fitness centers can open at full capacity. There will be no size limitations on social gatherings. Events expecting more than 500 people must submit a plan to the health department for approval. And as the state moves forward with easing more restrictions, let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers in Indiana. The State Department of Health reporting 1,195 additional cases of the coronavirus. That's 275 more cases than the state reported yesterday. More than 115,000 people in Indiana have been diagnosed with COVID-19 since March. The state also confirmed 18 additional deaths. So far, 3,340 Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus. Data from the state health department shows 38% of Indiana's ICU beds are available. About 81% of the state's ventilators are available too.
Dozens of workers and patients are getting a second chance. I'm Kara Kenny. Will tell you how this clinic stepped up when another clinic stepped out.
Games between unbeaten teams can be hard to come by this late in the season, but we've got one tonight here at Heritage Christian. I'm Brad Brown. We're live with the Eagles and a look ahead to week 6 of the high school football season coming up.
Rain chances in my forecast. There's a change. We'll talk about how many opportunities and then what happens after some rain.
Community Health Network closed a Kokomo outpatient therapy clinic and a specialty hospital this past summer, resulting in the layoffs of 121 workers. We've learned some of those workers have been able to rebound thanks to a Carmel-based therapy company that aims to fill the void. WRTV Investigates Kara Kenny has been tracking this and shows you why the transition is key for the entire community.
Community Health Network's Replay Clinic closed its doors for good on August 30th after 30 years in business. The very next day, Elite Therapy moved in, and days later, they opened their doors for patients.
I feel it. Good.
Julie Howard is recovering from shoulder surgery, so physical therapy is a must.
Got it.
Julie is a patient at Elite Therapy in Kokomo. She's one of dozens of patients who transitioned from the Replay Clinic after it closed. Her therapist, Mert, is one of 17 employees hired by Elite after Replay shut its doors.
Huge, because continuity of care for me is everything. And, that's one of the reasons that, I switched to Elite.
WRTV Investigates reported in July, Community Health Network opted to close Replay and the Community Howard Specialty Hospital because of the changing landscape of healthcare and to best align Community Howard Regional Health Services to sustainably meet those needs both now and in the future. The closures came after Community Health Network received $218 million in federal relief funds. Replay's closure upset patients like Julie.
Oh, I was not happy. I wasn't happy at all because, here I am. I've been going here. I've had, Mert has been my, therapist. And I thought, now what am I going to do?
Elite Home Rehab and Healthcare is a Carmel-based outpatient and home care company with locations in Carmel, Logansport, Lafayette, and Kokomo. Owner Melissa Dickey says Elite was already doing home therapy in Kokomo, and when they heard about Replay closing, they saw it as an opportunity.
Replay was really the premier rehab facility in Kokomo. We wanted to make sure we could continue it and keep that opportunity to the community, so we thought we would come in.
Because the company does home care, they weren't hit as hard by COVID-19 as many outpatient clinics. Plus, Elite received some federal funding, which helped as well. As a result, they were able to hire half of Replay's former staff members, many of whom have decades of experience in physical and occupational therapy. Grissom, the therapy dog, made the transition and is still gainfully employed.
Having a therapy dog that kind of brightens up the clinic is such a huge thing. I've never seen a clinic that's had one before. And so when I met the dog and received the dog's resume, I was very excited that we could have that opportunity to provide that for the patients as well.
Physical therapist Michelle Nicholson was laid off from Replay after working there for 25 years.
I was shocked. I was really shocked by it. I knew I still wanted to be able to work in my hometown. I've been here since I was 4. The people in this town mean a lot to me.
Michelle says she and other employees were more concerned for the patients than themselves.
It was important to me that we were still able to serve our community. Sorry.
Michelle is grateful to Elite for giving her a second chance to do what she loves, Workers and patients say this transition is proof this community can rebound even when things get tough.
We're people who are very resilient. I think resiliency is a big thing to look at here. I think aiming forward, during hard times.
Even though Replay closed its doors, Elite Therapy says they plan to be here in Howard County for the long haul. Working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
A spokeswoman for Community Health Network said they've also worked to find jobs for laid-off employees. Quote, we work closely with impacted employees to match as many as possible to other openings within the community. We have made every attempt to ensure that patients have smooth transitions to other quality care options within the community, end quote.
Here we go into the weekend, and of course a change in seasons brings about change in color. Across central Indiana, it's becoming a little brighter as more splashes of color appear in the trees. I think we'll only gain momentum as far as that's concerned next week as we see temperatures warm and then much colder. Well, temperature 77 in Indianapolis right now. We've had some great days of sunshine recently. We've got a couple more before we get into a chance for some rain. Temperatures are about average for this time of the year. Hopefully you saw this last night, but the moon, Jupiter, and Saturn are hanging out together. Obviously, you find the moon, you're going to find the other two. And look to the south in the evening hours after sunset. Fall temperatures, fall conditions are fall season, but rising temperatures as we go into the weekend. 83 both Saturday and Sunday. The chance for rain minimal on Sunday, just 20%. A little better chance overnight and into Monday. Here are your headlines, though, for next week. A much cooler week. That west-northwest wind will be strong, gusting over 20 on numerous days and delivering the cooler temperatures. Several chances for rain, both early and late week. Notice what I've done here. I've gone every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you see the full breadth of the falling temperatures. The high Friday 60, and keep in mind, many spots will be in the upper 30s to around 40 to start next Friday. That is the big change I'm talking about. Status quo for tomorrow. Enjoy a nice Saturday. Mixture of clouds and sunshine, temperatures in the low 80s. A change for tomorrow will be the fact that these temperatures will be propped up by a strong wind. The wind increases in the afternoon and into tomorrow night, gusting to nearly 30 in spots, especially in the northern half of the state. Rain out west with the first of a couple cold fronts starts to develop Sunday, but notice as it pushes towards central Indiana, it thins out. The prospect for a soaking widespread rain, not that high, but we'll take whatever we can get. Latest forecast models hinting at maybe quarter to a half an inch. 7-day planner. Once we get to Tuesday, it's all about temperatures in the 60s, and by Friday, if we're lucky, we make it to 60. Next Friday night will be quite a different night for Friday night football, but tonight nearly perfect. Let's check in with Brad Brown.
Kevin, we're working on our tan out here tonight still. I need like an SPF 50 to get through this. We'll take it while we can, though. Week 6 of the high school football season. Beautiful night all around the area. Some big games, including right here at Heritage Christian School on the northeast side. The Eagles are 4-0, taking on 5-0 Covenant Christian. Heritage Christian head coach Kyle Ray is in his 5th season. Joins us now here as the Eagles get set for a home game. Tell me what's impressed you most about your guys in this first part of the season, because the numbers look very good. How is that translated kind of day to day?
Yeah, I think our team just overall, just the mindset and just loving to compete. And on offense, we've been really balanced, be able to run and pass. And defensively, we lost a couple huge guys last year, but we just played good team defense and tackled well, and we got turnovers.
We had a chance to look at a couple highlights from your team. You guys won a sectional last year. How has that experience with the group coming back paid off for you the first part of this season?
It's been great. I mean, the expectations were high among this group, and this group expects to win every time they go on the field. So that's been cool to see how my tenure here is. We've gotten better each year, and now that we love the big games, we want to compete, and we expect to win.
You've got a bunch of athletes on this team on both sides of the ball. How does that add up to really being able to put those guys out there and just say go?
Yeah, I mean, offensively, we try to pride ourselves on being able to do anything and stretch the field. And we got guys that have played a lot of games and make a lot of plays. And so, yeah, it is fun when you have really good players that are really good kids. It makes it a lot more fun.
Speaking of fun, you guys are having a pretty good time with this, it seems, so far.
Yeah, the guys, like I said, they love the big games. I mean, Covenant's a great team, and we're excited to play here for homecoming at home. And because every Friday night we get a chance to compete, we're grateful.
Dynamite. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Kyle Ray, fifth-year head coach of the Heritage Christian Eagles. Again, 4-0, 5-0 Covenant. There's only 38 undefeated teams left in the state. We know one of them will be going down when we're done here tonight. We'll have highlights of this one for you coming up tonight on the news at 11. We got some IndyCar news we want to share with you real quick as we get set for the Harvest GP coming up next weekend. James Hinchcliffe will be back in the car as he'll be driving the number 26 for Andretti Autosport. Zach Veach out of that car at the end of the season, stepped out early. So with these final 3 races of the season, it'll be Hinch in there for Andretti. He's not the only new face that we'll see in a new car next weekend. Elio Castroneves will be back as well. He'll be driving the number 7 car for Arrow McLaren SP. Oliver Askew could not get medically cleared for the race. Still dealing with some issues from the last time out at Mid-Ohio. So Elio will be in the 7 next weekend. They'll race Friday and Saturday at IMS. I have a hunch we're going to be there next Friday for you. Right about now, they'll be wrapping up race number 1. Hopefully be a really nice weekend for us for a couple at the Speedway. We also want to tell you a little bit of breaking news here this evening. The MAC, the Mid-American Conference, will be playing football this fall. A 6-game schedule starting at the end of October. That includes the Ball State Cardinals. We'll have some reaction from them and some more details for you on WRTV.com. You want to check that out. We'll see you back tonight at 11 with highlights from Week 6. Time for one more break. Back to finish up the news at 6 after this.
Warmer temperatures as we get to tomorrow and Sunday. 83 with lots of sunshine. It turns windy tomorrow, gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour late in the day. Sunday, the only change, that slight chance for some showers late in the day, especially in western Indiana. Have a great weekend. Mark?
Thank you, and thank you for joining us for WRTV News at 6. We'll see you back here at 7 after World News Tonight.